Adam named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all the living. A thermometer only goes up to 42 degrees Celsius because anything higher means death. But inside our cells, there are organelles that burn at a scorching 50 degrees. These are the mitochondria, essential for producing the energy ATP that we need to live. Known as the powerhouses of the cell, mitochondria have unique characteristics. Unlike other organelles, they have their own DNA and replicate independently within the cell. ATP is so crucial that an average adult uses about 50 kilograms of it daily, and every cell contains mitochondria. This fact has played a critical role in tracing human ancestry. Sperm cells have mitochondria in their tails to power their journey to the egg, but during fertilization, the tail is discarded. Hence, mitochondria are inherited exclusively from the mother. As generations pass, mutations occur, creating diversity, but the changes are minimal enough to trace back lineage. Scientists successfully discovered the common maternal ancestor of humanity that way. In Search of Eve, DNA traces point to an African woman from 200,000 years ago. The results of this study were published in the journal Science in 1987 under the title The Search for Eve, and shortly thereafter, it was also introduced in Nature under the title Out of the Garden of Eden, Eve in the Garden of Eden. This term captivated the public, making them feel as if the biblical Eve had been discovered. At the time, many scientists believed that humans originated from various parts of the world, so the idea that the first woman came from Africa was shocking. She was not the first woman, but merely a lucky mother. However, Alan Wilson, one of the scientists involved in the study, was very regretful that the term Eve was being used to describe their findings. He feared that while it might spark public interest, it could also instill a very misleading perception. As he feared, news of the discovery of the mitochondrial Eve led the public to firmly believe that the biblical Eden was not just a myth, and that the first woman, Eve, had been found. Contrary to this misconception, Eve was not a single woman, but a group of women who lived in Africa. This was determined by tracing haplogroups, which are groups of individuals sharing the same genetic mutations, along the maternal line. Additionally, many other groups of women lived around the world at the same time, and even before 200,000 years ago. Strictly speaking, Eve was not the first woman, but her lineage survived because, for various reasons, the lineages of other women did not. This does not mean that others went extinct due to competition. As mentioned earlier, mitochondria are inherited only through the maternal line, so if a woman did not have daughters, her mitochondrial lineage would end. Unlike mitochondria, the Y chromosome is passed down only through males. Just as they traced the maternal lineage to find Eve, scientists traced the Y chromosome haplogroups to find our paternal ancestor, Adam. This group of men, estimated to have lived in Africa about 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, appeared around the same time anatomically modern humans emerged. As with Eve, many other male groups existed both concurrently and before this group. However, the lineages of all these other men eventually died out for various reasons. This does not mean that all the men after Adam went extinct or didn't have descendants. Since the Y chromosome is passed only through males, the lineage ends if a man does not have sons. So, who were the ancestors of Adam and Eve? The ancestors of modern humans, the Australopithecus, appeared about 4 million years ago. Does this mean Adam and Eve are not related to them? Many questions arose once the existence of Adam and Eve was known. In reality, the concept of Adam and Eve continues to be updated. As science advances, new haplogroups are discovered, allowing us to trace back even further. For instance, before 2014, it was estimated that both Adam and Eve lived between 155,000 and 200,000 years ago. However, with the discovery of new Y chromosome haplogroups, Adam's estimated timeline was revised to 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. Will humanity ever be able to discover its very first parents? In 2003, an article titled "The Genetic Legacy of the Mongols" was published in the American Journal of Human Genetics. The article revealed that After analyzing the Y chromosomes of 2,230 Central Asian men, scientists found that 8% of them shared the same Y chromosome. Tracing this chromosome back about 1,000 years, the scientists narrowed down their search for a candidate to a man who exerted absolute power in Central Asia and spread his descendants widely. Identifying this suspect was quite straightforward. Genghis Khan, born in 1162, one of the most powerful conquerors in human history. Genghis Khan established a massive empire, and his sons spread their Y chromosomes far and wide by marrying many women from various royal families and high-ranking positions. Because inheritance and succession were typically male-dominated at the time, all royal families put significant effort into producing legitimate male heirs. As a result, Genghis Khan's eldest son, Yochi Khan, fathered about 40 sons. Many of Genghis Khan's grandsons also fathered dozens of sons, ensuring the preservation and dissemination of Genghis Khan's Y chromosome through generations. Consequently, 8% of Central Asian men, or about 0.5% of the world's population, around 40 million men, inherited Genghis Khan's Y chromosome. Reproduce and leave descendants. This is a fundamental principle of biological behavior, and our highly intelligent species is no exception. Instinctively, we strive to propagate our genes continuously. From this perspective, Adam and Eve, who succeeded in maintaining their lineages for hundreds of thousands of years, can be considered biologically successful individuals. However, a curious phenomenon is occurring worldwide today. People, overwhelmed by the harsh realities of life, are voluntarily choosing not to reproduce. Is our society in such a crisis that it overrides even the most primal biological instincts that have driven us for hundreds of thousands of years to pass on our genes to future generations?